Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I had to make sure my in-home musician was not playing his guitar. I was like, just for a little bit.
Yes.
So,
That's funny. I had to turn off the Olympics.
how is it? What were you watching?
Brian, what were you watching on the Olympics?
Cross country skiing and the long jump, the
Cross.
combo event.
We were talking about in our staff meeting today about the ski and gun shooting.
Yeah.
And this is the funny part is I told Brandon, I said, that's a strange combo. Like, I don't, who said like, you know what we should do? We should add a gun. And
Yeah.
Brandon goes, I don't think it's that strange of a combo. And I was like, what? I was
I
like, do
guess
you
if you're
think?
hunting in the Arctic for polar bears,
Right. But I was like, I mean, are there other events for like the summer events we could add a gun? I mean, so
isn't there
strange.
one like is there one with guns, Brian, in the summertime?
Mhm.
What is it? Biathlon or something? I don't
That's a good question.
know.
I would imagine it like you being tired, you doing this, and then you
With
have
a
to be
gun
like
on your back.
but then you have to be very still and
Yes.
at your
Yeah.
time.
Like how
I
could you
can,
breathe hard? You can't breathe hard,
yeah, you have to hold your breath. I mean,
which
I don't shoot
make you
guns.
pass out.
I shoot a camera and you have to brace yourself and hold your breath.
I didn't know that. It
Yes,
takes a lot, it takes a lot of skills to do
I've
that.
often wondered, like, maybe is this the same way it goes? So I don't know.
Yeah,
Because you have
hard
to,
to say.
I love everyone jumping on, and this is what we're talking about. This is the intro.
Guns and snow. Yes.
But it is strange. If anybody is on the chat and would like to tell us what they're watching for the Olympics,
What's your
um,
favorite
like
Olympic sport? I guess
summer.
the girls. Hey, Paula.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you for having me. I'm in a new house. I'm not really moved in yet. I hate that I don't have my bookcases and things, and the
Oh,
lighting is all weird. And also, I
Oh,
can't figure out how to do my machine so it doesn't like, you know what I mean? It like follows me.
I don't, it kind of looks
yeah,
like you have like a
that's neat.
cinematographer, though. Looks dramatic.
Does it look dramatic?
Yes, it does. It's adding
Well,
to
it
it.
feels silly. You guys look beautiful.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love your outfit. Your shirt is popping.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I did decide to wear some red. Hang on, let me see if I can figure out how to get this.
You know, I do remember that setting in Zoom. I wish I remember where to turn it
You know
off.
what it is? Okay, I'm going to go to the dots and I'm going to say, oh, it has something to do with auto framing, right?
Maybe, yes.
Okay,
I once saw that as an option when I was going through my preferences.
maybe it's under
But
video. Okay. Okay, yeah. See, it says, I think I did it. Right.
nice.
Yeah.
Now if you go side to side, does it follow you? Oh, still.
Oh my
I
Lord.
want you to
Amazing.
do that the whole time
I
The
because
think you
whole
it's
should keep
time.
it.
amazing.
It kind of I love and this is another thing. People hopping on right now are gonna see that, which they'll be like, okay, we're ready. We
Yes.
are ready.
Okay.
I'm so happy to see you
I'm
again.
really happy to see you too, Elizabeth.
And I
Thank you. And
hope,
Allison, we didn't meet
We have not, but
in
I
Colorado.
enjoy your books.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I hope one day I can come to Waco
Oh,
and
we
see
would
your
love
lovely
it.
store.
We would love it. And we're
yes,
And
ready
obviously
anytime.
you have a rich community there.
We really do. I feel like if anybody asks me like, how's it going or how's it been? Because we're only like 6.5 years old. I feel like it's like the community's bookstore. I'm just kind of
Mm, I
the
love
one
that.
that's supposed to shepherd it in some ways, but it belongs to so many people and
I
I,
love
I
that.
love it.
Well, no one gets into book selling for the money. You know,
This is true. This is
this
true.
is so true. It's all for the
passion
love.
project.
Yes, it is.
All
It's
for
a
the love.
nonprofit in some ways.
Yeah. Well, I know I think you do you follow Frances May? She just wrote the nicest Substack
I
about
do. I saw your I didn't read the Substack, but I did see your post
yes.
about meeting her. She's so wonderful.
Yeah, she just did a really neat Substack about her time in Waco, and I thought having a poet write about our town was great for the
Yes.
for publicity. So
Oh,
Amazing.
I almost got to go to her house and do a luncheon book club visit in
Oh,
Cortona,
oh
her
my
house
God.
in Italy.
yes.
And then COVID happened.
Oh,
I was so heartbroken.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I get it. That
I
spoiled a
know.
lot of plans for sure.
It was
Still,
really inconvenient
it
and
was. It
Yes.
really did.
yes,
Messed with the vibe.
as well as being heartbreaking and all the
You know,
other.
what's interesting is one of my very favorite books I read during COVID was When the Stars Go Dark.
Oh, you did.
And it was my favorite book. It was it 2021 that it
Yeah,
came out.
2021.
It was my favorite book of the year.
Oh, thank
And I
you.
know you've been on Sarah Dickinson's podcast, Sarah's Bookshelves Live. We became
Yeah,
friends over that book because we both
you
loved it.
did.
Oh,
I
that's
Yes.
love that.
Yeah,
I love the way reading connects us.
mhm.
I
I really
know.
do.
It like nothing else for sure.
It's my favorite conversation, without
Yes.
a doubt, to just talk about books with people.
And
And
where are you now, Paula? Are you in New England
Lord
or?
help me, I am in Madison, Wisconsin. So I moved from Cleveland, Ohio to
Wow.
Madison, Wisconsin in like the coldest time of the year. And it has been so brutal
Mhm.
and just demoralizing.
I
That's
was
I
there
feel
last
like,
month and we drove through two blizzards, one of them on the way to Green Bay. It was one of the scariest drives of my whole life. I'd never
My
been to
goodness, why
Wisconsin.
were you in Wisconsin?
We had to do something for my husband's job up in Canada, and we just decided to make it a
Okay.
road trip. And so we went up to Canada and then spent New Year's Eve in Chicago, but Wisconsin was one of the few states I had not seen. So
Oh, well, if
I
you're
do
ever
it, but I
coming
want to
through
drive
again, will
through.
you please let me know so I
oh,
can
Yes.
that'd be
make
so
you
I
fun.
had
dinner?
no idea you were there. For some reason, I was thinking you were in Connecticut, but I don't know why I'm
I mean, that sounds nice. You
Sure.
know,
yeah.
Um,
sounds good. I'm
Yes.
ready.
All right. Well, I guess we should start
yes,
this.
we
So
should. Although I could just keep talking.
we'll just chitty chat.
Yes. Well, welcome everybody to Fabled's Book Club. We are so excited, so thrilled. As Elizabeth has done a great pre-intro to Paula, and she will be introducing her formally. But we're so excited to talk about this book. I loved it. It was so like visceral, immersive, beautiful, and we have such great questions for you. And the great thing about Fable Book Club is we talk about the whole book, and we have a lot of authors who are like, oh, finally, I actually get to enjoy like answering those questions rather than just pitching the story. So everyone here has read the whole book, and if you are watching and you haven't, do not worry because we do record this and we'll send it out as a link within 24 hours. So if you want to finish the book and then you can watch it and hear everything beginning, middle, end. And at the end of our talk, we will be mentioning our next virtual event. So stick around for that. But I will let
Maybe
Elizabeth.
I'll attend. What do I have to do?
Please, that would be amazing. Yes, it's so
You'll
simple.
have to stay tuned.
Yes.
I
Stick
would love
around to
it.
the end, Paula.
Okay, I'll stick around to the
Okay,
end.
good.
I
I
won't
love
bug
it.
out on you.
Very good.
Well, fun. Well, I'll let
Go ahead.
Elizabeth go. You go right ahead. Go ahead and introduce.
All right. So I am just so thrilled to have Paula here. She's been an author I have loved for many, many years. I finally got to meet you in October. We got to sit next to each other at breakfast in
In Colorado
Colorado.
at a bookseller event, and it
Yes.
was,
So we talked about hair products, all the important things.
very
But
important.
yes, I was just so thrilled that you agreed to be on our book club, one of our choices, and so excited to talk to you tonight. So, Paula McLain is an American author, best known for her novel, The Paris Wife, a fictionalized account of Ernest Hemingway's first marriage, which became a longtime New York Times bestseller. She has published two collections of poetry, and a memoir about growing up in the foster care system. And of course, When the Stars Go Dark, and now your fabulous new book, Skylark. So again, we're so thrilled to have you.
Thank
And
you.
for some of us, I loved it, read it months ago. Can you give us a brief synopsis of the book just to kind of get the ball rolling?
Absolutely. So Skylark unfolds in essentially one Paris neighborhood, even one street, a single street, 3 centuries apart So in 1664, we have Alouette, who is a dye maker's daughter, who longs more than anything else to make color, but that's not possible in her world. And then in 1939 through 1942, we meet Christoph Larsen, who is a Dutch psychiatric resident studying at Paris's oldest psychiatric hospital. And two things happen to him that are important to the book. One is he becomes obsessed with the tunnels below the streets of Paris. And the second is he becomes very, very attached to a Jewish family in his apartment building, and that attachment will change his life.
Fabulous.
That's so great. Well,
wouldn't you
job.
want to read it?
Yes.
I want you to read it all over again. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to start with our first question, but I forgot to mention if anybody has any questions for Paula to put it in our chat, and we will make sure to get to it during our discussion. But first, I would love to hear from you. The big question is, tell us how you got the idea for the book.
So I am a big believer in magic and the subconscious and intuition and all the things that we can't control. Like, I actually don't know where ideas come from. I'm a big fan. I don't know if you ever read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She talks a little bit about inspiration and what a mysterious, wildly kind of slippery process creative inspiration is. But for me, I just never really know where an idea is going to come from. And for this book, I was on a dog walk near my house in Cleveland, Ohio. I've since moved, but for almost 22 years, I lived in Cleveland, and I would drop my son at high school and then go for a long walk in the woods. And I had just done that. And I was listening to a podcast with Krista Tippett on being. I don't think she does it anymore, but it was really one of my favorite podcasts. And she was interviewing the writer Robert McFarlane, who had written a book called Underland, which is about underground spaces all over the world.
Loved it.
Yeah, did you love it? I
Yes.
loved it.
Yep.
And he was talking about this adventure that he took in Paris, where he crossed from one side of Paris to the other, north to south. A trip that took 3 days because he did it entirely underground. And my mind was blown. Like, I'd been to Paris a dozen times, and I had been to the catacombs twice with my children. And I didn't know that there are almost 300 square miles of tunnels from old quarry voids, and that Paris has been undermined for limestone since the 6th century, since Roman times. And it was just one of those things. I just became obsessed. That's how curiosity can lead us to all kinds of places. Like, I just immediately went home and ordered everything I could, books about the Paris Underground. And I just started to think about the kinds of stories that would touch that space, and how Paris, the history of Paris, could take place on two planes, above and below, depending on what kind of stories unfold there. And that was it. I was just kind of off and running.
So fascinating.
I think I love the idea of having to do lots of research in Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, there are worse places. Cleveland, Ohio, for instance.
Yeah, I got to go to Paris for the first time last Christmas, and it was just
Was that really the first time for you, Elizabeth?
Yes, I have been to many, many places, but that's one that I really, really wanted to go to. My husband surprised me and gave me 2 weeks notice that we were going to Paris, and we flew
I
off.
actually love that. You know, I
I
mean, you
love a
wouldn't want him to
surprise.
say, "Go pack your bag, we're heading to the airport right now." Like,
Yeah,
that might cause anxiety, but 2 weeks
Right.
is just enough time to get super excited and start dreaming. Did it live up to your romantic expectations?
it was amazing. We were there the day that Notre Dame reopened. So we were there with the Pope, with Trump, with every world leader. It was crazy, but it was just so magical. And my husband was just like, "Oh yeah, I know you want to go. We'll try it." He fell in love with Paris, wants to go back. I mean, there's just something so romantic and magical, and like steeped in history.
Yes, and
Paris.
layered and layered.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing that really strikes me about ancient cities,
Mhm.
is how as time passes, the layers build up. The word is
Mm.
palimpsest, right? So that they sort of stack on top of each other instead of one is erased to make something new the way that we do in our country.
Mhm.
And I love that you can stand on almost any corner. Like you can see the old Roman walls.
Right.
The aqueducts are there. There's a Roman arena in the fifth arrondissement, that you can step into. It's not even a site. You don't have to buy a ticket. You could just walk in and eat your croissant. And I, yeah, I love
When you
that.
think about the poverty of the French Revolution next to
Mm.
Hermes and Prada and all the and
Right.
I guess it's just fascinating to me. Yeah.
It is fascinating. And I was just looking on Instagram, somebody was showing like the oldest house in Paris. It's like 1416 or something that's still
Right.
standing. And I think about how places whisper stories.
Hmm.
They really do.
Yep.
And I've always just been, yeah, a huge history buff. And I get lured in
Hmm.
by
Me too.
imagining people's lives in other time periods. And obviously, I did that in this book. 1664 is the oldest I have ever
Wow.
written back. And that was an accident. You haven't asked me the question, but we're having such a great
Let's
conversation.
do it.
Just
I'll
let
just
it
follow
flow.
my own. I'll follow my own attention for a second. But I became obsessed with the underground, and it led me to learn about this area of Paris that was once outside the city walls. This village of Saint-Marcel, which is now the 13th arrondissement, and a river called the Bièvre, which is at the center of this novel. Now it's underground. So in Christoph Larsen's story, the river's there, but invisible, running below the streets because it was culverted in the late 1800s, 1900s by being so polluted by dye runoff, and because it was the center of dye making culture for several hundred years. And so I just became obsessed with dye making culture because I started researching a river, and I found the river because I started researching the underground. And it's interesting to me. The story I really wanted to tell is how history repeats itself. And that's why I chose two narratives. I've never really done that before, where I wove two full stories together, trying to let them be in conversation, like echo and whisper to one another. By choosing that, like I said, one neighborhood, one street, centuries apart, to show how lives, even ordinary lives, can ripple forward to change other lives and touch other lives that we never meet. And I believe all of that is true.
Was that hard to kind of weave those two storylines
It was
together?
so hard. It was
I
it
can
was the
imagine.
hardest thing I've ever done. And when I had the idea, when I started researching the underground, and I just immediately saw it as multiple stories. And so I wrote these two narratives, Christophe's and Alouette's, side by side simultaneously. I've never done that before. So each story has its own everything. It's world building,
Hmm.
double that, and deep research, into all kinds of things. It was, yes, it's the most difficult book I've ever written.
Can't imagine.
And yeah, the most challenging, but also the most rewarding, because the stories did start to speak to one another. I would be in the middle of a scene in Alouette's story, and it would suggest something to me, and make me lean kind of closer to Christophe's story. And I realized that I was writing about defiance and resistance, but not in typical ways. Like in Alouette's day, resistance is leaning into beauty
Hmm.
Mm.
That's really
and
interesting.
to and to color, which is restricted to those who are impoverished. And
Mm.
she can't make art. She has no creative freedom. And
Mhm.
so for her, that is the defining question. What will she do in order to have that freedom becomes the defining question of her life.
Yeah.
Well, when I was reading the book, I was finding themes that were very strong, including resilience, artistic
Yeah,
freedom,
that's my sweet
resistance,
spot. Hmm.
and the human will to survive oppression. What of those themes, what's one that is very important, the most important that you conveyed in this novel?
Oh, I think it's all of that in a bag of chips. I mean, I realized that, you were talking about when the stars go dark. I mean, that book is very personal to me, and a lot of it is about resilience. But when I look back, I think I've always been writing about resilience, sometimes in the point of view of real historical figures like Beryl Markham in Circling the Sun, or Hadley Richardson in The Paris Wife. But here it's imaginary characters, but it's still, how do people survive unsurvivable things?
Yeah.
Much of the time that's by finding one another, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of both of these stories are very much about found family. And yeah, and also I really wanted to show how bravery and heroism is not this sort of grand, something that's beyond all of us,
Mm.
right? It's grassroots. It's simple people becoming braver than they ever imagined that they might be, because circumstances call them to be that, to rise, and to find one another really in the dark.
I
Just
think
making
I
one
even
choice over another. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, exactly. To make one choice over another, to choose a hard thing, or yeah, I mean, even loving one another is an act of defiance in dark times
Mhm.
sometimes.
I think I remember reading there's a phrase I love and I read it in your book and it was doing the next right thing. There's a
Oh
portion where
yeah.
they said that and I love that because that when you're talking about the grassroots thing that is very much what you have to do and it doesn't involve these huge, you know, epic plans. You're just doing the next thing. So I love that.
Exactly.
It was a great reminder for all of us
Hmm.
ordinaries.
Hmm. Yeah.
I loved hearing about the tunnel system and fascinated by it. And then there was so much information on trades and I mean the research that went into this book, I'm sure was extensive. Can you talk a little bit about how you did it? How much depth did you go into? Is your mind one that will want to learn even more than what the reader even needs to know? I'd love to hear about that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm a lunatic. I mean, honestly, I when I'm deep into a book, my dining room table is covered like rows and rows,
Mhm.
deep, the entire thing. With research books, I never really know, again, what I was talking about earlier about the creative process. Well, the research process is also mysterious. I could never, sometimes I'm asked, do you have a research assistant? I'm like, well, I couldn't have a research assistant because I don't know what I need to know
Right.
until I get to that moment. And I'm always just following curiosity and my own attention. We often say, in the writing world, notice what you notice, but this can
Mhm.
be true for anyone. Like, notice what you notice. Like, you, Elizabeth, would notice a different thing than Allison if you're standing on the same Paris street. Like, your eye would be drawn to different things because of your own everything, your own worldview. Like, your vantage point is you. Like, you're living a story that's never happened before, like each of us are. And I believe that every life is worthy of all of our attention. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing, is I'm just following a character, and then as I'm building them out and imagining them, this is what empathy is, like leaning into their story, and they become very real for me. And I just start to become super curious about why they do certain things, or all writers are schizophrenics, right? We're all just crazy people sitting at our desks and talking
Mhm.
to imaginary friends all day, but along the way they become quite real, and the choices they become to feel like life and death.
Is there any point where you were writing and you were like, I've got to go to Paris and I have to go underground? Or like, there's book's not going to happen if not.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, I went to Paris 6 times in the 3 years that it took to write this book.
Okay.
But when I wrote The Paris Wife, which was the first book that I wrote about Paris, I had never been,
Oh,
So I read my way there and imagined my way there. But this time, yeah, I went 6 times. And yes, it took me a long time to try to find somebody that would take me into the underground because it's illegal. I had been listening to another like an NPR story, and I knew this journalist had done the same thing that Robert McFarlane had and written about it. And I found a way to contact her, and I asked her to set me up with somebody who would do it. And she said no, essentially. And I tried to find other routes, and it was synchronicity how I found someone to take me. And it's a good story if you guys wouldn't mind. I think it's a really fun story. Somebody had sent me a travel guide to Paris. It's a really cool one called Don't Be a Tourist in Paris. If you've not seen it, it's super, super fun. It's written by this woman. She calls herself Messy Nessie. Messy Nessie's chic. And she's also really fun on Instagram if you want to follow her.
Yeah.
And she owns a little curiosity shop on the Rue de Bièvre, which is one of the arms of the Bièvre that is now buried. And it sort of flows down, the road flows down to the Seine the way that the river did. You can follow the curve. And anyway, it was just a fluky thing that I was given her guide, Don't Be a Tourist in Paris. And I was looking through it, and I saw pictures of her own adventure underground in a chapter of the book called Down the Rabbit Hole. And so I wrote to her, and I told her who I was, and I sent her a copy of one of my books signed. And I wrote her a note saying, please, please,
yes,
please.
you're like, I'm
me.
legit. Not just a random person who wants to do this.
No, please. Anyway, she wrote me back immediately and said, oh my God, Paula McLain, I carry your book in my shop.
Really?
And I'm your biggest fan. And if you come to Paris, we'll have coffee and I'll tell you everything you want to know. And she did. Wow. She set me up with the same guide that took her down below. I met him in the middle of the day in the 13th arrondissement, which is where both stories are set. And it was the craziest thing. He had a backpack. Also, he looked like a pirate. He had like a crazy beret and a goatee and these weird kind of pirate culottes. And he had a backpack, and he sat down and he pulled out these dusty gloves and he pointed across the street and he said, see that manhole cover over there? I'm going to go over there. I'm going to lift it up. You're going to go down.
Oh my gosh.
As fast as you can. Don't make eye contact. He had already told me to bring my passport in case we got arrested.
Wow.
I also paid him $4,000.
Wow.
For this tour. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
And so because he could get arrested, right? Yeah. And anyway, he said it's going to be 4 sets, ladder, 4 sets of metal ladders that go down, and don't let go, and I'll see you at the bottom, essentially.
Were you by yourself with him, or did you have
I was with my assistant who was living in Paris at the time, and her husband Tyson, who is like really athletic. And
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know this guy, right? I mean, I'm not, yeah. But it was, and I did go down first. It was one of the craziest things I've ever done. When you get to the bottom, it's so far down, each ladder was about 40 feet, right? Mm-hmm. That the metro goes over your head. Gosh. And the walls shutter.
No.
Yeah.
My
yes.
goodness.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I only imagine like it getting dusty and stuff as it goes by. Gosh.
It's crazy. Like it's all so the quarries were done by hand. Just men down there sort of like carving these blocks, and they're wide enough for a cart, but they didn't have animals or anything down there. And it's just the tunnels are only wide enough for 2 people walking, and about as high as a man walking. But sometimes there are collapsed places where you have to crawl and yes, I was claustrophobic. Yes, I started to think that there are 40, tons of stone and all of Paris over my head. But this other thing happens, which is, your curiosity takes over. I'd never been in that kind of space. And I had learned that there were members of the French Revolution down there, and I had seen pictures of places where they wrote their names on the wall. So
Oh my
I was
goodness.
looking for that, or that there was a siege, a manhunt of Prussian soldiers in the 1800s, and I knew that they had written their names on the wall. So I wanted to sort of like touch that
Mhm.
kind of that history that's layered down there. And of course, I did see all of that. And it was great following this guy who was calling himself La Cigale, which means the cicada, because he had a code name because I don't know, because he's a pirate. And
Yes.
Of course, as one does. Yeah.
and he was
I gotta
vaping,
be like,
and
I
like
don't
his
need to know
smoke
your
is
name.
blowing past me, in the tunnels. And it was and he was running part of the time, and he had this boom box that was playing music, and it was wild. It was wild.
Was
Lucky you. What a story.
I remember in the book when it's talking about when they were traveling and then part of it they had to like hunch over. Did you have that experience? Like it was not as
Oh
tall.
yeah, that part I did not love. That
Yeah,
part I
I
did
don't think
not
I would
love.
either.
Plus, the guy La Cigale, he was running at some point because this is his world. It was almost like he was in this video game.
That's what it
You
sounds.
know,
Like
yeah.
Ratatouille.
I
Oh
read
my
it.
gosh. That's
He
so
did bear
funny.
some resemblance, yes, a little bit to
Yeah.
Ratatouille, yes,
Funny.
but
Mm.
without the chef's hat. But
What
yes.
an amazing story. I feel like that just makes the book even more dynamic knowing that
Mm,
you went through some real adventure to write it. I like that.
yeah, I've done some crazy things for my books. But this kind of
Yeah.
takes the cake, as they say.
I love it. Well, a little bit off topic, but I'm curious. Of course, I read Circling the Sun years ago. I mean, that's my first book that made me just fall in love with your writing,
Well, thank
and
you.
love the Paris Wife. What made you depart and do something a little different with When the Stars Go Dark? And do you feel like you are a historical fiction author, or do you like to just say, "Don't put me in a box"?
Yes, I like to say, don't put me in a box. And part of that is just my belief in following my creative integrity. When an idea comes to me, it's almost as if I have some responsibility to it. I don't know if
Mm.
that makes sense to anybody else, but when the idea for When the Stars Go Dark came to me, I was also on a dog walk. Just a very different, it was it's completely different everything, completely different kind of day, completely different walk. And when that idea came to me, it was just sort of like out of the blue, like, oh, this character, basically the character at the center of When the Stars Go Dark, her name is Anna Hart, and she is a missing persons detective who is kind of a wounded healer sort, who is particularly attuned to listen to and to be drawn to help those who are helpless and voiceless. And um, when that idea came to me, I kind of like brushed it off almost like a fly. Like, this is not the kind of character. This is not wrong writer, go away.
Mm.
But I was on a 6 mile walk with my dog around these lakes. And by the time I got to the end, I had written the story in my head and I knew kind of what happened. And at that point, I don't know. I just kind of think that, again, whatever creativity is, whatever inspiration is, I'm not in charge of it. I'm not
Mm.
driving the bus. Like, I'm a passenger on the bus, and or the merry-go-round or whatever. I mean, choose your metaphor. I'm buying a ticket because I want to know where that story is going.
Yeah.
And I feel like I also always want to do something I haven't done before
Yeah.
because it'll help me grow and change and learn. I want to always be learning. And if I choose a lane, and some writers are very happy to be branded, very happy. And God bless them. I mean, this isn't a competition, like you do you, but for me, if I did that, then it's sometimes I have to be slightly over my head in order to reach the next level and develop different tools, you
Mm.
know.
I think I'd be that same way. Don't put me in
Would
a
you?
box. But I think
Yeah.
that and of course we're talking about Skylark, but I love that book so much. They making the true crime part of the fictionalized tale with the polyclass was
Yeah.
brilliant. I still think about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. People still reach out to me who were in her town during that time and who were
Wow.
changed by that event. I happened to be doing an event just last week in Healdsburg, California, and I drove by Petaluma, where
Mm,
Polly Klaas was
mm,
grew up and where she was abducted. But yeah, there is something when you ask Elizabeth, do I think of myself as a historical fiction or do I not want to be put into a box? The real answer is that history, or what I call like truthiness, right? Some aspect of real life keeps me tethered to life as we know it. And that does feel important to me because I think history has a lot to teach us and current events have a lot to teach us, but current events in whatever moment, right?
Right.
Definitive moments that change and challenge who we are as humans. And that's rich territory for me. That's traumatic potential. And I
mm,
am super, super interested in all that. Yeah, the moment I folded in Polly Klaas's story, the stakes for me raised
mhm.
exponentially
Yeah.
because I knew that I had to take such great care, that
Mhm.
there was a part of me that could never be exploitative, or that there was had to be a tenderness, a walking very softly around that
Your reverence
material
about it. Yeah.
to honor it. It's
Mhm.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way in this book when I was talking about Jewish families,
Mm.
being arrested and deported and taken to death camps. I mean, this character who is a teenage girl, who is very much part of Christoph's story in the 1939 to 42 narrative, I didn't really know that I was going to write in her voice until I found some material in my research about how during the raids in 1942, in July of 1942, many thousands of Jews were all arrested within several days. It was the first time that families were taken and children. And there are plaques all over Paris. You can walk by buildings. There are plaques on
Wow.
the
On the
walls saying,
yeah.
here,
Or
16
even
people.
on the concrete in front of homes. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh,
And that's another way, as we were saying earlier, that a city remembers, right?
mm,
There's a line in the book, history isn't behind us, it's beneath us,
Mm.
like that.
Well, I think one thing I have thought before, for all of us, I don't know, the things that happened during World War II, we heard the stories from our grandparents, or my mother heard the stories from her parents. But now our children and their children are not, they don't have the firsthand accounts like we did. I mean,
Right.
coming from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And so it's even more important to keep those stories alive and not, because otherwise they're just, far, far away and they don't need to be.
Yes. When
yeah.
somebody tells you a story, there is an immersive quality, and not all nonfiction or fiction is immersive. I think it's important to bring history down to a human scale, and telling stories like listening to your grandfather or whatever is one way to do that. And choosing a character and then making that character's life very familiar.
Mhm.
Aren't we always looking for those characters in books who are going to tell us a story, who are going to take us someplace, and also tell us something important? um, I don't just write, and I don't mean to sound as if like I'm doing something other writers aren't doing. I'm not sort of like tooting my own horn, but personally speaking, I don't want to just entertain. I love to read entertaining books, but I'm always trying to tackle something a little bit deeper, or paint on a take a bigger bite, or paint on a bigger canvas, or whatever, so that I'm telling a story that's also significant to me somehow, because it's talking about the human spirit, or resilience, as you mentioned earlier, Elizabeth. I mean, yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, on that subject a little bit about tragedies, and with a book like this, it's inevitable there will be one. How do you choose the way it will go without just completely devastating your reader?
Oh, I mean, that's not easy. I mean, first of all, I think tragedy, the bigger the story, the bigger the wound, the quieter we have to be about it,
Mm,
in a way, right? But I also think I love a story that kind of wrings me out a little bit. I
mm,
mean, don't you sometimes like to cry?
yeah.
It's cathartic. Um, I don't sit around going, how can I make my readers cry?
Right.
But if a story tends to be moving in a certain direction, I will follow it there.
Mm,
I think that, for instance, Alouette's story is in one way quite tragic, ends tragically, but in another way, it ends hopefully
mm,
because her story, and this is another reason why I wanted two timelines, two narratives. Her story is resolved in a way outside of her own lifetime.
mm,
It's it's picked up and moved along.
mhm,
Mhm.
And I love that. I love thinking, just like the marks that are made underground. I mean, I was walking by them and touching them, thinking those were people who made those marks, and who knows what their lives are like. But now I've touched that, like they're still here.
mhm,
And in a way, Alouette's story ends tragically and is borne along, ripples forward through history to touch and change others. And in that way, it's quite triumphant. So
mhm.
I like that.
Love it. And I was just looking here at your of the accolades. This was a Good Morning America pick.
Yay!
Yay! People Magazine loved it. It was an editor's pick from Amazon Books, Book of the Month, Indie Next recommendation, and big blurbs from the Washington Post, Publishers Weekly, all of the things.
All
Um,
of the things. I mean, it's
yes.
it's wonderful. You can't always, when you can never predict what's going to happen. I had never had a big book club before, for instance. I mean,
Hmm.
it kind of blew my mind. And it's 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Um, how not to freeze on national TV when 6 million people are watching.
You feel the same way here, I'm sure, right?
Oh, exactly the same, talking to y'all in my dining.
You're doing a good job, Paula. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. There was a lot more time that day spent thinking about what I was going to wear.
Oh, I bet. I
When I
bet.
get nervous, that's what I do. I don't know about y'all, but when I
Oh,
get nervous, I
mm,
think about things I can control. Like
yes,
I
absolutely.
tried on 20 dresses.
It's important.
It
Yeah.
is
And
important.
you have to have an outfit that matches your book. That's how I am. Yeah.
Yes. Elizabeth
Anyway.
does that any
Do
in
you really
person.
do it?
She
You
matches
do?
the book.
Yeah. Anytime
Uh,
if I'm live with the person, whatever book we're talking about, I match the book cover.
And my delight in this is the inventory that Elizabeth has for dresses that match books.
I
That's impressive to me.
It's part of
well,
the
now I
passion
have to
project.
join your book club because I need to know
I know
what's
it's very
coming.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
these are in person, our in-person interviews. So
Oh, in the
actually,
store.
mhm.
Yes.
Oh, now I
Yes.
have to go back and
You
see
have
'cause I
to.
saw
You
your
you
post with
definitely you
Francis
will
Mays. I
now
have to go
see
back and look at
all
your
very
outfit.
purposeful.
You should. And then also come to Waco for your next book and make sure that the book cover is in my color wheel. That's all.
Are
She's
you
an
a
autumn.
winter? I think you're a winter. Or you're,
I'm a dark autumn.
oh, well, it's
Yeah.
because you have light skin, dark hair, but you have brown eyes. Is that why?
No, I have blue eyes. They're
Oh,
just
you
I
do?
know.
well, they're green. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
What are you? I love that we got in this direction.
Oh, I
I'm a
know exactly.
I'm a true summer, but
I'm a winter. I'm a
yeah,
winter.
oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
where
winter.
the
My
friends
mother's a winter. I can skew winter,
are.
but a little more on the warm
But look
side.
at you wearing the jewel tones. Like that's
Hmm. But it's a warmer tone. It's
mm,
yeah. So
mm.
that's the
Have
difference
a
is a
peak.
warm versus cool.
Okay, I love this conversation.
I
In the
know.
same way, Elizabeth, when I met you in Colorado, we started talking about, I think it's because your hair was so great that day.
It was a good hair day.
It's
It's the
that
dry
dry air.
air.
You
It
do.
was the dry.
You guys said that.
Yes.
at exactly the same moment. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, it also goes to say it's so humid here. It plays a lot of frustration.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
yes, a
Yeah.
million years ago, I lived in Dallas
I
and
Okay.
I
didn't
was
know
a
that.
waitress at On the Border.
Nice.
Yes, we do love On the Border.
Yeah, and I didn't spend very long in Dallas. It was for a man, of course, a boy, because I was in my 20s. And I'm telling you, the humidity almost killed me. My hair was epic. It was
Yeah.
It's
It's good for
out of
the skin. It's good for the
it.
skin,
We're
not
all
for
kind of
the hair.
glowy all the time around here. It's either
Very
sweat or
dewy.
moisture.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
Well,
Well,
I
Paula, I was just going to ask, who are some authors or books that you're enjoying or inspiring you right now?
So right now, goodness. On the plane, I was reading oh my goodness, Buckeye, which I think is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Patrick Ryan.
Patrick Ryan, who is also a brilliant short story writer.
Hmm.
Yeah. I recently read Lily King's Heart the Lover, which I thought was so good. She's a genius. I mean, she's lovely, but in this book, she has such a light touch. Again, we were talking about tragedy. How do you be both, how do you follow a story to hard places, dark places, whatever heartbreaking places, and also do all the things,
I was
right?
not expecting how sad that one was going to be.
Oh my God, I was gutted by that book. But again, in a beautiful way, that
Mhm.
made me feel very connected to that book and those characters. I loved Writers and Lovers too. I think she's terrific. And then recently, I'm reading a book that's going to come out next spring because we read for blurbs, right?
Mhm.
A book about Sylvia Plath called Daffodil Days.
Oh,
That's going to be really terrific by a debut writer that's coming out.
there's several books coming out about Sylvia Plath. One of them
Oh,
is
really? Isn't it
the
interesting? Like with the cultural zeitgeist,
yes.
things just kind of pick up.
We'll always we go through catalogs, we'll always start to notice the trend, what's really
Yeah.
hot right now. And
there's like a haunted house with Sylvia Plath living in it as a ghost.
Really?
If I find it, I will message you
Oh,
and
interesting.
tell you
that's
about it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I haven't read it yet. I just saw it in the
Oh,
catalog.
okay.
Yeah.
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 I don't know how you guys stay up on all of your reading.
It's
I mean,
not
there's
easy.
just so much. Did you
It's
say
like
it's
it's
fun?
like trying to drink
Out of a
Niagara
fire
Falls.
hose?
Yes. Yes. I'm usually the first to resign myself and be like, well, I tried and just do the best we can. Because we do love, which I was gonna even mention before my last well, actually I'll mention it right now and then I'll have one more question for you. Is we do this thing quarterly called the book review, where we will tell our customers what books we think that are coming out are the best books. So this
Okay.
one that's in March is January through April. And so we will give them a PDF and it's on Zoom like this. And we have so many people join us. It's kind of
From all over the
mind-blowing.
world.
All over the world. Though every time there's maybe at least 1,000 people sign up for it, which we're like, really, guys? I
Oh
mean,
my
it's
goodness.
so much
This
fun.
is the quarterly one where you tell
Yes.
Yes.
them what they should be reading.
Yes. And then in
Yes.
the middle, sometimes we will have a little bit of some spicy takes of books that we thought were not as great as
All
they.
right, give me two things. I
Oh,
need you
for
guys
us,
to give
sneak
me a
peek.
recommendation. Either
Love it.
something you just read or something that I should read or something that's
Mm.
coming that you're excited about or
Lady Tremaine. Lady
Yes.
Tremaine.
Lady
Let me
Tremaine.
tell you the two that you're going to want to read.
Yes. Let's
Okay,
do.
Lady
writing this
Tremaine
down.
by Rachel Hockhauser. It is a retelling of Cinderella's wicked stepmother story, but it is gorgeous.
Wow.
And then Yesteryear by Claire Burke, Caro.
Okay.
It's sort of a trad wife story where this woman is like major Instagram followers with her trad life going on. And then she actually kind of falls into this rabbit hole where she's actually living in the 1800s. And newsflash, it's
Aha.
so it's a so it's kind of it's very much
So it's
again.
like Outlander.
Yeah, sort of,
But
but you because
uh
we kind of think, oh, wouldn't it be nice to go back to the 1800s? Life was simple.
and make our own butter.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And it's sort of a scathing look at it's very I would say it is very timely.
Mm,
It's in the zeitgeist right now, and it's very interesting. That's
okay.
Yesteryear. That's the name of that.
Yesteryear. So both of these have a sort of like a fantasy or a magical tint. Is that your
No.
Yeah,
But
no?
she's not. This woman does not read fantasy. It's
uh-uh.
others
But
Yeah.
do.
I would say Lady Tremaine is more actually historical fiction slash ever so slightly horror, but not weird and nothing crazy.
Okay.
Like a gothic, but
Okay.
it makes you think, you know what? Maybe the wicked stepmother, maybe she wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love
I
this.
do like books that flip our
Yeah, a
perceptions
little
on
bit of
our
the
heads.
villain's perspective.
Yes, that can be very satisfying. Like James by
Yes, very
yes. Oh my
much.
God, right? You take a voice, a story, and you make the entire realm of the known story much more interesting and complex than we guess at.
I'm telling you, I want you to read Lady Tremaine and let me know what you think because I
I know, we'll
really
talk
feel like
about it. It'll
I
be
yeah.
love it.
great. Okay.
Well, on subject of books, are you working on anything next that we can expect?
I wish I was, because I'm always a saner person when I'm writing.
Mm.
But I have been on book tour for a while and I just moved. All my stuff's in boxes, and I'm the kind of person, I really like my space to be not meticulous or orderly in even
Peaceful.
in the messiness that is
Right.
me, to have my books around me and my desk in order so that I mean that's my sacred space, and
Mhm.
when it's all in disarray I don't feel comfortable. So first I have to get my house in order. And then I'm going to sit down and write, hopefully this summer. I'm excited, actually. I'm excited about summer. In Madison, it was like it went from -20 to the other day, it was 64 degrees. And in that moment, when it was 64 degrees and the ground was thawing and I could smell the sap rising, I got very excited about summer and about writing and looking out the window at green leaves on the trees.
Well, we'll be anticipating. Once everything is in order, everything finds its place.
Thank you.
You will
Thank
have some good
you.
inspiration.
No, thank you. And thank you for supporting my work. I mean, I don't think, that everybody tuned in kind of has an understanding of the relationship that we have,
Mm.
like booksellers and authors. Like you can't really do what you do without us, and we can't really do like I can't reach the people that you can
Yeah.
reach to say, like when you choose to hand sell a book or love something, or the way Elizabeth kind of lit up going, Lady Tremaine, like you
Yes,
have to read this book. Like that's still my favorite conversation. I'll talk to people on buses and in cabs and saying you have to read this.
I love it. We're just the same. I could be on a beach and then I'll slow walk by somebody to look at what
What are
they're
you looking
reading.
at? Yeah.
Is that good? Yeah, I'll talk to strangers, all kinds of strangers. But no, I mean you guys, it's amazing what you do. So thank you. I really wanted to.
Same to you. It's
Yeah.
wonderful having a great author to champion. And we so appreciate you joining us and
Thank
telling us
you.
more. It gives so much more life to the book too.
Thank you.
Lakita's saying, I love your writing. I'm looking at the
Yes.
comments.
Oh, in the
People are
chat.
being so kind. I
Mhm.
love your writing.
Oh,
Thank you for creating it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. I
Yes.
thank you.
Well, you
Well,
are one of our very favorites, Paula, and this was just such a dream to get to talk to you
well,
tonight.
next time, regardless, I'm coming to your store.
Come
I'm
on, we're ready.
coming. Even if
Ready?
I have to fly there on my own little wings, I will come to your store and we will, yeah,
We'll celebrate.
Yes.
we'll
And she'll wear
celebrate.
whatever color you pick for your.
Okay.
But not
All right. As
pastels. That is
long as it's
not
Yes.
in her color wheel.
She likes
okay.
she needs some warm tones. She's
Just
not
warm
so much
tones.
a
That's
cool
all I'm
tone.
asking. I don't care what's in the middle of the book.
Yes.
Whatever historical fiction, it just needs to make me look
The
cute.
only thing I ever say no to, like hard no, is yellow. How are
I
you?
I'm that orange is my
Oh, okay.
that's so but
Just
they
I
Elizabeth, do
can't
you
do
ever wear
yellow.
yellow?
I wear mustard.
Oh,
Cheers.
mustard. Mm.
I can't wear yellow,
I
but
would love to wear. I can wear the coldest yellow there's ever been, but
Mhm.
I don't usually go that way at
You
all.
guys are adorable. You're adorable.
Oh, I
Thank
love
Well,
it.
we're probably
you.
different than a lot of other booksellers, but we have just
Oh
the
no,
same
I
interests.
love it. I bring it. It's amazing. You guys are amazing. Until next time, I really appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you again, Paula, and thank you everybody that
Okay.
joined us.
And just reminder, did you tell everyone about our March 17th?
Oh,
March 17th is the book review, and I put it in the chat.
1 month from today.
Yes. And we'll include it on our email that we send out tomorrow that will have this recording so you will not miss out, and we will post it on Instagram.
And there'll be
So
a coupon
it
code.
will,
So you're
yes,
actually getting paid to listen to us talk about books.
yes.
That's
Very
girl
girl math.
math. Girl math.
I love it.
all
All
Thank
right.
you
I
right.
guys
want to
so much.
listen. All
All right.
right.
Good
All
night.
See y'all
right. Good
later.
night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.